Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to my channel. My name is Rabiei, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this exciting journey. In every episode, I'll be shining the spotlight on the amazing local entrepreneurs, the lifeblood of our community. My mission is simple: to familiarize you with these local gems, their products and services, encourage you all to support them, and together build a stronger, more united community. And I'm here today with Andrea Probert, CEO of.
Pathways to Emotional Health, Inc.
Hello, Andrea. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. If you could kindly describe your business.
Sure. Pathways to Emotional Health, Inc. is a service for independent therapists for a small monthly fee. It offers the best of both worlds. So when I say therapists, it started off with mental health psychotherapists and psychologists, and it's grown to really any kind of healing therapist. Mm-hmm. So it offers the best of both worlds of an individual solo practice where you're kind of on your own on an island, right? Isolated. It offers the best of that world in the sense of you get to make your own hours, set your own fees, choose your own clients. You are your own boss. Yeah, so we are independent therapists, and it takes also the best of a group practice. So it offers that community feel, camaraderie, and everything's optional, right? Like an optional Pathways fun days where we may go out for lunch or go to 8-Bit Beans and play some video games.
This is fantastic.
It also offers monthly group consultations where we can share ideas and help one another, share resources. And I offer, with the fee comes all of that, plus the website to advertise on.
Excellent.
And I do a lot of advertising in the community at local clinics. And a database to house all the clinical contact notes, which is HIPAA compliant with all the provincial health laws, and rent. So it comes with office space. And you don't have to rent it out for like a month. You can just rent it out by the hour. So it's really flexible.
You're saving them all the therapists a lot of money and overhead, basically, with the platform that you have created.
Right. Just kind of like sharing it together, sharing resources. It's really about, it's the idea that we're better together.
Yes,
and I make the fee a low fee so we can retain top talent.
Great. Yeah, so as human beings, we thrive together.
100%. Yes. I'm so grateful for the therapists that belong to Pathways.
I love it. Yeah. This is fantastic. Beautiful. So what are your goals over the next year?
To build a healing empire. So like I said, we started off, we're social workers, psychologists, occupational therapists, and we've really grown to, we've just added on 2 more healers. One is an integrative therapist, and she works with balancing the energy within your body. Her name is Deb. She's amazing.
Oh, I'll be interviewing her for sure.
Yes, she's great. And Melissa is also amazing. She's a very interesting niche. She's a courageous love coach. Mm-hmm. And I will leave it at that because I imagine you will definitely want to interview her. So I'm going to let her kind of explain what she does.
100%.
So yeah, in the future, just looking for other holistic healers, nutritionists, naturopathic doctors, iridologists, RMTs. Yeah, just to expand and to heal together.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. What a big vision you have and what a great plan you have for this.
Better together.
And 100%. And I hope the viewers, the one that are seeing this video, and they're interested or they have, that we fit within your team or within your platform, contact you and you guys can work together.
That's my hope. So unfortunately, there's no shortage of clients, right?
Yes.
We do need more healers.
I bet.
Different options.
I bet after what we have gone through after COVID, for sure.
Yeah.
And the toll it took on people and their mental health.
100%.
Yes.
Thanks.
Excellent. So how does psychotherapy work and what can the client expect in a session with you?
In a session, a non-judgmental space to curiously and with compassion explore unhelpful patterns. And by unhelpful patterns, I mean I work from the lens that thoughts, feelings, behaviors, they're all connected. And this triad is shaped by our experiences in life. things that happen to us, things that happen around us.
That's right.
And these patterns form very early on. We all have deep-rooted core beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about the future of the world, and they're shaped based on those early childhood experiences, and they're shaped by, as I said, all of our experiences and how we make sense of them. And how we make sense of them is, with our thoughts. Right. The messages we tell ourselves about why these things are happening. Exactly. And those thoughts, when we tell ourselves again and again and again, they form a core belief. Our core belief affects our automatic thoughts, how we understand things in the present day.
That's right.
And our thoughts drive our feelings, and our feelings drive our behavior. Well, I won't go too much more into that, but that's kind of in a nutshell. And so what you can expect how psychotherapy works is people generally reach out to me, and they typically already have this presenting problem or struggle or issue that they want help with changing. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you kind of feel something's off, and you might not know exactly what that problem is, and that's okay. We explore that in the first couple sessions.
Right.
So we would, clearly define a problem, and then the opposite of that would be a goal. So very concretely and tangibly, how would your life feel if that was no longer a problem in your life? What would your life look like? How would you know you've reached your goal?
Right.
So we know when we're making progress. Mm-hmm. And then in the first couple sessions, it's just gathering a lot of information, understanding what life has been like for you, really, really stepping into your world.
Right.
And understanding what your thoughts are, how you feel about things, what your natural kind of urges are. That's like the behavioral part. And then understanding when that presenting problem started in your life.
Right.
So what were the historical factors going on around that? Where that started, why it started, and then also the maintenance factors, what's keeping it a problem today.
Right.
Because they become patterns for a reason. So what used to serve us in one area of our life with one kind of certain group of people, maybe our family growing up or our environment, those patterns evolved to help us in those situations. And as we shift and change, right, form new relationships, new environments, when we bring those patterns with us,
yes,
they don't always work, and sometimes they become really pretty detrimental. So identifying those patterns together, like I said, without judgment.
Right. That's the key.
That's a big thing, because we judge ourselves, and we assume others are judging us.
Right.
Yeah, and then creating new, healthier, more adaptive patterns to reach that goal.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. This is beautiful the way it works. Actually, it is actually go to the roots of the problem, and you find it there 100%. And try to undo what it's been done through time, or through a specific type of events that cause that pattern to take shape.
In a sense, yes. I'm huge into, we all have a wounded inner child. I don't care how great or amazing your childhood was, there's always something in there that needs to be kind of revisited and nurtured. And it's interesting how you say kind of undo patterns, and that's, everyone thinks that. It's more accepting they happen. You can't undo it, but we can think about it differently. Think about it in a way that's better for us.
Right.
Probably saying the same thing.
So what I meant by undoing it is I'm thinking to myself on about all the neurons that they're wired together, right? And then what I was thinking is undoing by definitely you have to acknowledge them, and you have to understand them, and then rewire them into a new pattern.
Absolutely. The brain is an amazing thing. Don't get me started. You're referencing neuroplasticity, which is all you're right. We can change a lot in our brain that we used to think was kind of like a life sentence where human beings are amazing.
Absolutely. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. So if a young person asks you for an advice on how to live their life, what would you tell them?
Advice? Nothing. With wisdom, with age, definitely comes wisdom.
Comes wisdom for sure.
However, there's something to be said about like a young person. So two parts to that answer. First of all, I never give advice. I think we all have an inner knowing. We all, on some level, we know what we need. We know what we want. Sometimes we don't want to admit those things.
That's right.
And so if a young person, I would just invite them to talk and to explore and, share their thoughts, share their feelings. And I would just reflect back what I hear and have them come to whatever advice it was that they knew they needed. Especially with a young person. I have 3 beautiful children, and they teach me so much more, I think, than I could ever teach them. They remind us to be mindful and in the moment, because most of our worries and stresses and fears, anxieties, comes from stressing about what may happen in the future, or what has happened in the past.
That's right.
And most of the time, barring, unfortunate major crises, most of the time, all is well in the moment.
That's right.
And, a young person, when we're young, we remember to be playful and silly. And there's so much research behind the importance of playfulness and silliness.
That's
and
right.
Being in the moment is, it positively impacts our physical health, our emotional health.
That's right. It's funny how you were saying this. As you were saying, I was thinking about this, that we often say kids are carefree. And what makes them carefree is to be in that present moment.
Yes.
They really don't care about anything other than the moment that they're playing together. They're having fun.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes them so beautiful.
And we say, oh, kids are so carefree. We can still do that as an adult.
That's right.
Right? Like that's...
Then we got to cut down of overthinking of the future, forget about past. Past is gone. And that's the time that we start to get a sense of the present moment. And with that comes a rush of joy. It's very interesting the way it happens.
And I know life gets busy, and some people watching us can say, well, how can I do that? Like I'm juggling so many balls. And this is true. And we do have to be, unfortunately, in our lifestyle we've created, we do have to multitask. But we can pick little moments just to be, just a few seconds or a few minutes just to be, and just to like take in that moment. There's no good day or bad day. There's only good moments.
That's exactly it. That's right. Absolutely. This is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love this interview and this conversation we're having together. So, what the viewers should do at home to work on their mental and emotional health?
So aside from, I think, what we all know, like the obvious, right? Plenty of sleep, plenty of water, healthy eating, get out in nature and exercise, and just be like connected, whether it's family or friends or animals. Aside from that, I would say turn inward. All we are really essentially is a brain and a nervous system zipped up in a body. Yep. And so we're run on this very kind of visceral automatic response as they communicate between the two of them.
That's right.
Which has been a great thing. It's the reason we've evolved. It's that, you've heard of the fight, flight, freeze system. Yeah. They just added another one, fawn, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, depending on who you speak to. It's this automatic system that's been there to keep us safe.
Right.
So if you think back to caveman days, right, we're going out hunting, gathering, all of a sudden saber-toothed tiger jumps out of a bush. We don't have to stop, problem solve, think, figure out what to do next. Nervous system kicks into action, right? Our amygdala sends a note down to our nervous system, and within like a second, we're pumping blood and oxygen to our large muscle groups, our hands, our arms, our feet, our legs, to prepare us to either fight back or to run away.
That's right.
And then when we get back to safety, when the threat is no longer there, our parasympathetic nervous system kicks into action. Mm-hmm. And that's our calm down system. That's responsible for rest, relaxation. In that moment of fight, flight, freeze, we don't need to digest food in that moment. We don't need to think. So our heart and our lungs work together to pull the oxygen from our brain.
That's right.
And pull it from our digestive system and just go.
Right.
So when we're away from the threat, then everything starts kind of regulating itself again, and we can think more clearly. We're digesting food again, and we're calming.
Right.
So in that example, it works well. It's a very necessary part of being a human. More modern day example, say you're going for a walk at night, and a coyote starts chasing you. It's the same thing.
That's right.
So we don't want to stop that. That's when our feeling of fear keeps us safe. Right. Fear just kicks into action. We don't question it. We just go on urge.
That's right.
Same thing happens when we're not in actual physical danger. So, I hear people say, well, I have anxiety. I hear that often. I'm thinking, oh, I'll have anxiety. It's one of all of the feelings.
That's
and
right.
all feelings are purposeful. Without anxiety, we wouldn't be able to keep ourselves safe, right? Anxiety, fear, worry, it's all kind of in that same area. And so what I think they mean is when it becomes problematic. So those more false alarm situations where there is a threat, like the coyote or the saber-toothed tiger, but we're not in actual danger. We're not in physical danger.
More like an alarm system of the body telling us you got to calm down, you got to pay attention to yourself.
Yes. And I think we're evolving to tell ourselves that. I can tell you must be doing a lot of mindfulness.
No, definitely.
Because that is what we have to do. But in the absence of that, the more visceral response is it's just reacting. So that could be, a child's response to a parent saying, get off screens, right? The parent becomes the threat because you're removing something that the kid wants, right? Or, at any age, not feeling heard or understood, right? Like that kind of visceral anger creeps up. If we have phobias or if we're, have anxiety about public speaking or fears of spiders or the water, whatever that is, that same response kicks in and tells us avoid, abort.
That's right.
For fear and anxiety, maybe like attack for anger. But we're not actually in danger. So in those situations, like the false alarm situations, it's not very helpful. Typically pretty much always makes things worse.
That's right.
Right?
Yes,
I think we all know that if we've ever struggled with anger at some point in our lives or like I said, anxiety, fear, stress, worry. So that's why I say turn inward. And that's what you were saying too. Like,
that's right.
Be mindful. So how do we do that? How do we turn inward? There's a couple ways. The most classic way is focusing on our breath. And when mindfulness was first introduced to me, it was about 12 years ago. And I thought, okay, I could see how this works for other people, but not for me. I'm bad at it. My mind is kind of all over the place. I can't do it. So I abandoned it pretty quickly. I thought mindfulness was clear your mind and just, turn in and then let everything else melt around you. And it kind of is. But with that understanding, I think we are going to give up pretty quickly because that's near impossible to do, especially right at the hop.
Oh, yeah.
Mindfulness is being aware in the present moment on purpose and non-judgmentally.
Right.
So we can choose to focus on any one thing, right? It could be going for a walk and choosing to focus on the sound of the birds. It could be, as you're going throughout your day, if you say I'm too busy for any of this stuff, pick something that you naturally do. If you naturally are brushing your teeth, focus on the sensations on it, how it feels. Concentrate all of your attention on that.
Great.
The classic one is focusing on your breath. So when I'm laying in bed at night and my mind is racing, right? So maybe the threat in that instance is I'm stressing, I'm thinking.
Right.
A trigger can be a thought in your head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking about everything that I have to do tomorrow. And I'm starting to get that fight, flight, or freeze response that's keeping me awake.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm ruminating about something that happened earlier that day that did not go well, and I'm stressing about it. That's our brain's way of trying to undo what happened earlier that day.
Exactly.
Can't be undone.
Yep.
Right? We just got to sever our thoughts from our body so we can just relax our body. So by focusing on your breath, and like I said, when I used to do that before, my mind would pop up all the time, and I thought, oh, I'm bad at this. It doesn't work. Until someone explained to me that's the point. Every time you notice your mind wander, like I said, whether you're choosing to focus on the sound of something or focusing on a candle flame or focusing on your breath, every time you notice your mind wanders and you bring it back each time, you've noticed your mind wandered. Therefore, you become aware of your thoughts and you've strengthened your awareness muscle. For someone like me who struggles with mindfulness, I need it more of an anchor. So by that, I mean, if I just let myself breathe naturally and turn my attention towards it, I notice I'm a bit of a mouth breather, and I can feel the warm sensation here. So I can put my attention on how it feels kind of on my upper lip. I can also give myself more of an auditory anchor. So inside, I'm telling myself, in, out, in, out. And even with those anchors, I notice my mind wanders.
Yes.
Again, when that happens, I'm more aware of my thoughts.
It's all about that awareness. That's right.
Right. So throughout the day, when you practice that, when you're not elevated or escalated or stressed, and you do it on purpose, non-judgmentally, in the present moment,
yes.
As you go throughout the day, the more you do that every single day, as you go throughout the day, you start to notice when you're having a thought.
That's right.
Right? So earlier on, when I was talking about how we are run based on our core beliefs and our automatic thoughts that drive our feelings, how we make sense of the world is based on pieces and aspects of truth, but we're filtering out other important aspects to make sense of that.
That's right.
Right? Think about a disagreement in our argument you've had with a loved one.
Yes.
Right? You guys can have a different viewpoint, a different perspective. Both of you are telling the truth, but you're only focusing on a certain aspect of it.
That's right.
So when we notice our thoughts, we can choose, okay, is it a helpful thought or an unhelpful thought? Right? Think about, I don't know, road rage. Right? That guy cut me off, and you can keep thinking about that, and it's going to escalate your nervous system and be pretty dangerous overall, right? Or you can choose to think, that wasn't cool, and I'm going to turn towards my breath and, take a deep breath and activate my parasympathetic nervous system.
That's right.
So you can be aware of your thoughts, but you can also be aware of your body sensations.
All the emotions that it goes in the body.
Yeah, for sure. So another thing you can do is when you wake up in the morning, change the label to your alarm to be your daily intention. So if you want to remember, if you're somebody who does struggle with road rage, remember to remain calm and regulate it. I can give a personal example. So for my husband is just naturally super calm and regulated, and he's just like almost doesn't have a pulse. I can be a bit more kind of emotionally explosive. So I want to remember, in those days where I'm having a really bad day, where nothing's going right, and I show up home and I'm hungry and I'm late and I'm tired, and I want to remember to come from a place of calm, love, and gratitude. That is my label, right? Like I would set my label to say that. So when I wake up in the morning and my body is more kind of relaxed and my breathing is slow and my muscles are loose, I'm going to do a body scan. So a body scan is turning your attention, again, inward, noticing any sensations starting at the top of your head. And some people start at the bottom. I like to start at the top.
Exactly.
Scan, notice if you have any like aches or pains, and then you kind of slowly go down your body. And I'm fortunate, I wake up and I feel really loose and relaxed, and I kind of hover around my breathing in my chest, and I notice that my heart rate, my pulse is low and calm, and I think, this is my baseline. My daily intention is to come back to this.
That's right.
So then you can set your alarm, 3 to 5 hours later, and when that goes off, stop what you're doing. This whole process can take 30 seconds.
That's right.
Turn in, scan, and I've noticed when I do that intentionally, my shoulders are a little up, and I'm breathing a little bit into my chest.
Yes.
Because I'm someone who's always go. And if you ask me in that moment, how are you? I'd say I'm good. I'm fine. But then when I do a body scan, I notice I'm stressed at about maybe a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
Yes.
Because I'm not the 1 out of 10 that I was earlier that day.
That's right.
So the more you practice that awareness of turning in, a body scan is a great way of doing that. You can do a quick reset. You can do a reset as long as you're not at like a 9 out of 10, because then you're like out of control.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So we're learning how to be So we're learning how to be in control of our feelings through awareness. So we just take a if you catch yourself sighing throughout the day, that's your body's natural way of trying to activate your parasympathetic nervous system.
Right.
So those are some tips. I could go on and on and on about that one.
Oh, I love it. I'm enjoying it. I'm sure the viewers are enjoying it too, because these are valuable information. And to be honest with you, once you search a topic like this online, so much information comes up, so much misinformation comes up, that I'm pretty sure it gets everyone confused.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And with the lifestyle that a lot of people have now these days, they don't have the time to go through every bits and pieces and try to filter it out and get the truth out of it. So it's fantastic the way you're explaining it, and I'm enjoying it for sure, and I'm sure the viewers are enjoying it as well. So,
well, thank you. Yeah, just like be aware, and you can take charge of that visceral, not archaic, but like I said, it's kind of new that we're learning that we can be in control of our feelings. We can consciously choose our thoughts if through practicing mindfulness.
So for me, I think that's my next level. I'm trying to achieve to consciously choose my thoughts, and I think that would be the best they should be at. To be honest, to think at will,
yes,
rather than just think all the time without any control over the thoughts.
It's tough. We have an average of 70,000 thoughts a day.
Yes.
Now I can't quote that research study. I don't know how we came to that, but I
had the same number.
I have read that. So let's say an average of 70,000 thoughts a day. I'd still love to get my hands on that study. And unless you're doing, math or science or putting together an IKEA closet, they're judgments.
Yes.
Right? So they're just judgments. It's a beautiful day out. That's a judgment.
Yes.
And so judgments are helpful or not helpful. And so if you just start, right, challenging your thoughts is very difficult. And it starts with just noticing, just noticing, just observing, was that thought a judgment or a fact?
You're absolutely right. In fact, I just finished a book called The Power of Now, and it does exactly talk about this, the judging part of it, of every thought that it goes through. Back to what you were saying about 70,000 thoughts a day, I heard from Dr. Joe Dispenza also that he says majority of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before. And it's a cycle that happens all the time, because we eventually go on an autopilot mode.
100%.
And that's what actually destroys us. And the amount of energy that goes into producing those thoughts, and then right after the emotion follows.
Yeah.
Majority of them are negative emotions. It just drains us, gets us all exhausted. And that's what happens.
It definitely drains us if we're not in control of it.
That's right.
Feelings and those, that kind of visceral response when it's helpful. Like I said, I gave the example of the coyote or true danger.
Yeah.
But the same thing is true of all the positive emotions.
Yes.
So you're driving, it's a beautiful sunny day, you're all by yourself, your windows are rolled down, your favorite song comes on, and you just belt at the top of your lungs. You're just run on emotion. Absolutely. But it's a helpful one, right?
Yeah. Exactly. This is so true. I was reading somewhere that eventually, every emotion produces certain type of chemical in our body. So the negative emotions produce negative chemicals, and the positive ones produce good chemicals. Once this cycle happens, it depending on the person, what sort of thoughts they actually goes through their head. If it's like a negative thought, the majority of the time, and producing negative chemicals, their body gets addicted to that. So it triggers them to think negatively to get that dose of negative chemicals.
Right.
Now, the question is, I know it sounds pretty easy, but the way I'm talking about it is to make a decision of what kind of chemicals or what you want to be addicted to. But for most of us, it's a process that we have to be mindful of it, as you said, to do the practice, to be aware of what is happening in us, and eventually get us addicted to the good chemicals and be automatically on an autopilot into positive thoughts and positive emotions and chemicals that is being produced.
Oh, so fascinating. I think what you're talking about is that stress response. So when you say negative, maybe I'm going to say not helpful, really not helpful, because it does serve a purpose, again, if you're in danger, right?
Yes.
So eventually that flood of cortisol and adrenaline, that's supposed to be a good response to save you, to help you. When you secrete them again and again and again and again, it takes its toll on your body.
That's right.
So if you practice, if you make an intentional practice of daily gratitude,
yes,
compassion, and awe, your body starts to flood those positive hormones. Like oxytocin is a love hormone, right? I could go on forever about that, but and it feels good in your body. So, even if you have like 10 minutes to go for a walk in nature and look around and be in awe of something,
huge difference.
right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love it. This is absolutely fascinating. So, what are some of the positive reviews you get from your clients?
I've been told, especially by people who have been reluctant to reach out at first, right? It's a scary, daunting process if you've never reached out, right? That unknown, you don't really know what to expect. In that fear of judgment, we're social animals,
Right.
and so we're definitely going to be fearful of sharing things we struggle with, things we're not happy with in ourselves. These unhelpful patterns typically, somehow in there, we blamed ourselves. And I've been told that when you first come into session, you're so fearful of judgment. So I've been told that my clients have told me that they feel that it is very judgment free, and very, very agree. I just very curious, and I truly believe that we all have best intentions. There's all goodness inside of us that we want to build on, and it truly is just the experiences that happen to us and around us. So just I've been told having that fear of judgment is typically kind of clients judging themselves, and helping lift that just kind of feels a bit freer.
Right. This is great. And yes, I believe it makes a huge difference to work with someone that they don't feel judged and they're able to actually open up. This is something that a lot of people cannot do, to open up even to their loved ones. Fear of being judged is there. And you're able to accomplish this as you're doing, then I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be happy.
Well, it's definitely a two-way street. It's got to be the right fit.
That's right. That is true also. 100%. So if the viewer need to get a hold of you, what are the best ways they can contact you?
Phone, email, or website. So my phone number is 905-718-4422. My email address is andrea@pathwaystoemotionalhealth.ca. And that's also the website, www.pathwaystoemotionalhealth.ca.
Excellent. Would you like to add anything?
I would imagine lots, but just in this moment, no, I just encourage everyone to start their days with a lens of gratitude and compassion and awe with yourselves, with other people. Try to see the best light in yourself and the best light in other people.
Excellent. This is a beautiful message. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you. And once again, my name is Sam Rabiei. I am the sales representative at EXP Realty. If you have any questions in regards to buying or selling or investing in real estate, please give me a call and I'll be very happy to contact you. My phone number is 647-655-6160 and my website is www.samrabiei.com. Please help me to achieve my goal of supporting small businesses by sharing this video, by liking it, and subscribing to my channel. And I will see you again one more time with another interview. Thank you and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
My pleasure.